Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nishan. We are playing KSB 1.41. So I was messing about with my lander and decided to change the main pod here. So this is a small episode where I will test out the new changes on Duna Lander. Often when I build something, I build it and then I go around and think about it during the day, and then I come up with better changes to how to make it better. So the first thing I have done here, I just wanted to show you something that I have completely missed in the game. As you can see here, we have put a heat shield on top of that. We should not use it in this way, but I just wanted to show you guys. And that you can actually remove ambulator here. And this way you can lose a lot of weight here. As you can see, with no ambulator at all, which top part weighs around 15,700 kilos. And if I add everything, I always add a ton. So this way, usually you don't need so much ambulator. Maybe if you go into EVE or something, but if you want to, you can make the ambulator disappear. Like for example, re-entry from Duna to Kerbal, I probably will not use more than 20-40 depending on how heavy things are, but yeah, as you can see, this way it can be an excellent way to lose some weight. So I've changed the pod on my Duna Lander here. We used to use this one. Let's check it out here. We used to use this model here, the Lunar Excursion module. It weighs around 275 delta V but tons, and it actually has quite a hefty amount of liquid fuel, and so you can use that as a tank. But I have exchanged it for this pod instead. It doesn't have any liquid fuel, but even without the liquid fuel, and but it doesn't have any monofrosters. It weighs just about 152 tons, so that's really not a lot. So you can see here we have again about, it was around 270 before we shedded off our parachutes. So yeah, we are gaining around to 200 delta V even by having less tanks here. And the main reason why I was changing it was that I was using the small rotation wheel up here on top of the Duna Lander, and that is kind of okay if you're never gonna land with it. But with a lander, I want to have a more, let's just say, so I don't mess something up here. So you can see here the center of mass is right here, and I want my rotation wheel to be there. It will be a lot easier to land and control this vehicle by having it at the center of the mass. If I had only had that small one over here. So what I thought we're gonna do, we're gonna send this to space just to check out how it behaves, how fast it rotates. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are in space. I can see Kerman behind that is only for 2 people. Oh, that's it. That's the new one looks inside here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll stack like that. So if I... Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, I'm stuck inside here. I don't know why. If I go to map mode and now I get back here, I only see Yamadia's backhand. It's not that... There we go. So let's see how much this spins. I also decided to not go with antenna, because we will go with a full pilot of Yamadia, so we don't need any assistance from radio, and we don't have a probe. So I don't think we will send the science, because we will have all our science inside the pod. So let's see here. Let's go to prograde. Well, this is a big improvement compared to the other ones, and it seems a little bit stable. Let's see if I unstable it. Let's see how it, if we apply some forces of the atmosphere, which will be quite heavy. Okay, so let's just deorbit this one as soon as possible. So we will just burn through the fuel here. Let's time up so we... Oh. Cool. Time warp, and then we will just... I want to just see how powerful it is. I think it will be able to handle most of it here. So if I point myself to retrograde, there will be very flat surfaces here. So yes, this will be a lot of force on this one. Let's go a little bit lower into our atmosphere just to test it out. And I think, yes, look at this. I have so much control. We got some heat. And it's... I have no problems just turning it into the right position. This is very useful when you have a lander, of course. So let's go back to the vehicle assembly building. Cool, so there, that works really well. So what I also want to find out, one of the things that can be really irritating while you are flying with it on Duna, especially with parachutes, is if the parachutes just mess up your style. So I wonder if there is an action group to just cut them all. That would... Oh, I went to the wrong... so is there a cut all... Yes, I didn't know that, but it could be a lifesaver. So we have, let's just set up number 1, 2 while we are at it. Toggles. So yes, and my old solar panel was not inside this package, so you can't tuck it in while you're landing it. Otherwise, it would not be protected from the drag and heat, and it would probably explode. So let's see here. We have a lot of staging to go through here. Okay, let's go to build. Put it over here. So cool. So that is what we want to do. This is the things we want to shed before going inside. Okay, let's see. Can I get at the coupler? Yes, it is there. So yes, we will shed everything. This is the part where we go into curving. We want to shed everything. Of course, we want the parachute too. I could go with the engineer and land with these ones, but it's not like it's super expensive with the parachutes. It costs like not a lot, and I will have it on its normal setting here. So that will deploy soon there. Okay, cool. So that is done. We want to, however, have that on its own stage. Yes, I kind of like to separate them so I can do everything in steps. So this is the phase where we will shed everything. This is after we have launched ourselves from Duna, and then we will shed all our stuff, our landing gear and everything like that. So that's cool. And this I'm thinking actually I don't like usually to do it like this, but in this case I will do it. So it means it will fire on landing engines at the same time it will shed the interplanetary step part. We're gonna use it at the descent at Duna, of course, but then we can shed it around 500 meters so we don't bump into it while we are landing. And when we shed it, the engines will be activated directly. I kind of like that. So, and these ones are working, we have tested those. So let's check the engine. So yes, it's important that I get everything right here. So we want to be able to activate the parachutes a lot sooner, because probably we may even have some fuel left inside these external tanks that we also shed. So we can activate the parachutes. And so that, talking about the parachutes, I think we want to check those out. Minimum pressure. So that is the maximum amount of minimum pressure you can have. We can see here they will deploy fully at the altitude of 1200. So the minimum pressure, you can actually go to the KSP wiki, which we will do now, and check it out here. So we can see, what was it? 0.02. 0.02. So at Duna, this means that if if the parachute will, if they are safe traveling around under 250 meters, they will, was it 2 digits here? Yes, it was. So they will deploy and create drag at 0.1. So you can see, is this Duna? I thought it was a lot later than that. So around 20,000 meters, we will have pressure enough to deploy our parachutes, which is fine. 20,000, maybe I want it a little bit lower. Let's set it at 0.7. So that means that they will start deploying in the drag mode at 15,000 meters. Let's change that to 10,000 meters, yeah, because yeah, this is just the Duna atmosphere is around 50,000 meters before it begins. So 10,000 meters is probably well, because we were probably just braking with our engines or just slowing down, bleeding off speed with our engines. So 0.18. 0.18. Wait. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, this is 2 digit. I'm very stupid here. So it will not deploy from here. It's these numbers. So 0.2. If I put that 0.2, it will deploy between 10,000 meters and 7,500 meters. Yeah, that's okay. So we have that's the lowest setting you can use. So let's put that a little bit higher, because it will help us slow down a bit. So 15,000 meters. So yeah, so that is cool. That is done. Okay, so let's continue in our list. Those engines, we want to fire those ones. We wanted to fire that one too. I like to stage them on different stages so we don't get any explosions or otherwise. We have some struts sticking out there so we can gain a couple of parts. It could make a small difference at least. So let's see. And then we have our lifter part, which has a delta V of 3,888. And my test flying, the last episode when I test flight with this, yes, this is without the fairing. So let's see. I think that is everything, so let's build a fairing now. I'm also shortening this wide because the fairing is so thick here, so that will make the rockets even easier to fly. So let's start building a fairing here. So let's hug it there. And that's just landing gear. So that's a good fairing. So we can see now that we have a delta V on a lander stage. I also bumped up the thrust limit a bit when I'm talking about this limit a bit. So at the atmospheric site we will have 1.33 as the launch pad. So that will make it a little bit faster at the launch pad and easier to steer down. So that's cool. And I think we are more or less done with it. Actually, with these small altercations, we have made it a lot better. So the problem I'm thinking one of the design errors I already think it will lead to problems. As soon as we have shed our parachutes, our aerodynamic profile, there is also actually atmosphere at Duna, and it will lead to some problems. But if I go very slowly, I don't think we will have a lot of problems, but it will lead to problems because the drag will be, this part here will be very flat. So yes, it will create drag, but I don't think it will be a big problem, especially if we go very slowly up and do a small gravity turn there. I think we can avoid most of that, and we will start speeding up our speed, full speed, when the atmosphere starts to get thinner. So that's a new version of this. It was just a small update video here. I thought I wanted to make it on its own video because there's some improvements that I have to add. So yes, so this part will aerobrake right into the atmosphere, and I think everything will be able to survive. We will probably arrive at speeds around 1500 meters per second at the Duna atmosphere, and yeah, and the Duna atmosphere is not very thick. I think we should be able to handle everything there. It's not the most optimal lander. And if I wanted to do it more optimal, I would probably not make it here. I think even my first Duna Lander is a lot better because it's more aerodynamically shaped, and so it would be easier to fly with, and this one will create problems, but I kind of like to build something that is not perfect. We can fly it. I think we will be able to take it all the way to Duna, plant a flag and go home. So yeah, I don't see any problems at all for that. I think we will be able to do that. So that was everything for this episode, and as always, thank you for watching.